what if picturing myself pulling with bare white hot wit? Oh dear. Oh dear. Hello everyone. 0 likes, Chris fell off. Indeed I did. I have fallen off. People haven't been watching the streams as much, but that's because I assume I need to get back to it. Hello everyone. Hello. Hello. Like the chat, everybody. No, don't like the chat. Like me. Like my stream. Like it, bro. Right. Oh, God. TikTok is such an interesting place. None of you would have seen this if you were even there. At the start, they were all messaging because an English footballer died. Well, a Portuguese footballer died. And this guy kept saying that I was exploiting his death because I answered a question about what he was saying. But yes, oh yay. Hi. I've been busy at work. I haven't. I'm unemployed as hell. No, I have been quite busy. I've been working on my video about Ethan and his newfound friendships and stuff. I haven't actually got much done today. Because there was quite a lot of stuff happening. So I was kind of, working on doing things. Working on plans for the stream. Have you ever been to Cyprus? I've never been to Cyprus. Unfortunately, I've not been to Cyprus. I feel bad for mocking George. I mean, what does George the accountant even post? If any of you are on TikTok, this is what the guy looks like.
They all say the same thing. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer.
Okay, so let's go through some of the points.
They all say the same thing. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer.
If you can copy and paste.
What is this? This isn't him in the pictures. Unless he's become American recently. Unless he's become American. I don't know what this is all about. This is not the same person. Did he buy an account? I don't know what this is. Here's his old account, George Broke Accountant. I wonder if anyone can find this. Hold on. People were saying that he might have been chatting to minors, but I have no confirmation of that. So I can't confirm that. I'm just doing my research on George the London Accountant, but unfortunately he doesn't seem to say anything. I'm just checking if I can find out anything about this guy. Sorry, I'm very distracted. Discord sent above. Pin when you can. Yes. I'll pin it. Is Tony here? Tony in chat. Thank you, Tony, for letting us know that you're in chat with that very extreme message. Hello, everyone. Hello. Sorry, I just want to see if I can find out. I am actually perplexed by this guy. Like, genuinely, I am incredibly interested in the world of George the Accountant. I just blocked him, so I wonder if I'll be able to see him. Settings and privacy. Privacy.
This is my...
Elegance, thank you for becoming a member. I need to do some stuff.
So, I was just on a live with Harmeet Singh Barar, and he believes Africans and Indians...
Hold on, let me... It's because I blocked him. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. I need to just get some things done. Hold on, I just want to show you this guy. He's like my #1 viewer. I love him. Oh, God.
There is a fun...
Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, guys. I'm really distracted. Can I see it now? Right, here we go.
So, I was just on a live with Harmeet Singh Barar, and he believes Africans and Indians were the first to land on Sword Beach during the D-Day invasion of June 6, 1944.
Well, this is good news. I can't wait for you to leave.
So, if you haven't noticed, Gary Stevenson from... Slightly. Oh dear, Citizen Smith, where do I begin with your absolute nonsense? First of all, I cannot give financial advice. I'm a...
This is the guy who I was discussing with online. He's so strange.
Qualified management accountant, not a chartered financial advisor.
Guys, this is where I get my financial advice from.
So it's become evident that the left don't have a clue about wealth taxation policies and the associated effects of such policies.
I really want to know...
So here's my review of the F1 movie, which has just been released.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. So this is the guy who comes on my live every day and then says I look like, that I look like... He made an 8-minute review of this film.
So for context, I used to race karts between the ages of 8 to 15, and in that time I won the British Open Championship when I was 10 in 2000.
George Open Kart Racing UK. This guy like hides who he is, but Junior Kart Racing. Oh, God, I want to know who he is. I really want to know who he is. For more financial petitions. No, I mean, I would feel nicer if this guy was not like... Apparently he said slavery was good.
2006. I also competed in Super 1, which was the British National Championship when I was competing. And I also finished 12th in the Formula Kart Stars Championship in 2009 in the Rotax Minimax category. And I finished 14th in 2010 in the same category, Rotax Minimax. In that time, I raced drivers that...
Sorry, I'll stop. I'll start talking about serious things. That film did not deserve an 8-minute review. What, is it not good? I saw 28 Years Later on Tuesday after I streamed, and that was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. Wasn't like the best film I've ever seen, but yeah. sorry, so I don't know if this guy... Oh, no, he's a Zionist. He's a Zionist, but he's also just very stupid. I just really want to know who he is. Like, that's sort of what I want to know most about him. But, because he's just incredibly racist. And, I feel like there's a certain point at which maybe you should say, hey, someone should have a discussion with the people you work with because this is the stuff you post online. And, yeah, I think maybe I would like to know who he is for that exact reason. Because this guy, like, genuinely, apparently he said slavery is good. Like, he's a bad man. He's a very bad man.
Oh dear, Citizen Smith, where...
And he got ratioed by Chris Benson, who also is Citizen Smith.
Slightly different today.
I love TikTok. I love TikTok. What is happening? I'm exploring the interesting world of George the Accountant, who's kind of like a mega fan of mine, I'd describe him as. He's been watching my live for like a considerable amount of time. And he, so he's been watching my lives, and he always comments, and he tells me how stupid I am.
So here's my review of the F1 movie, which has just been released. In the film, Sonny Hayes then takes out his teammate.
And my favourite soundtrack, loud as fuck.
Rotax Minimax. In the Rotax Minimax. I also competed in Super 1, which was the British National Championship when I was competing, and I also finished 12th in the Formula Kart Stars Championship in 2009 in the Rotax Minimax category, and I finished 14th in 2009 in the Rotax Minimax category.
He finished 4th in 2019. Right, that's enough. I don't know if George is here. That's enough. Sorry, I'm subjecting you to watching something that I should be doing in my personal time. There's much more important things to be talking about today. The review had like 8... I don't know how many views it had. It has a comment from Robert Jenrick fan account. Right, that is enough of that. Sorry. I guess we've got like some serious stuff to talk about. So, Palestine action was prescribed recently. Owen Jones is going live, and he's doing a Piers Morgan thing about Israel committing genocide. So I guess we could watch that, but I don't know. But there are lots of things to talk about. I guess one of the most important UK things to talk about is last night a really good documentary came out called Gaza Under Attack. Gaza Doctors Under Attack. It was really good, actually. I'd highly recommend it if you're in the UK. I think you can get it on Zateo otherwise. There were some videos of it that I saw, but I don't know where I've put them now. I just wanted to show you a short clip. Oh, someone's posted the full thing, but I'm not going to watch it because I'm definitely going to get struck for it. God, there are loads of just versions of it just in full on Twitter, but I won't watch it. Should we watch... Are you saying that I should watch one of George's races and it's a hate watch? The most glorious hate watch of all time. I just wanted to see if I could see it. But yeah, let's talk about Palestine action being prescribed as well.
Now, escalate its campaign. Madam Deputy Speaker, this disgraceful pattern of activity cannot be allowed to continue. Now, in applying the legislative framework, the government assesses that Palestine action commits serious damage to property with the aim of progressing its political cause. I'm not going to give way because I need to get these important points down on the record. With the aim of progressing its political cause and intimidating and influencing the public and the government.
It's so funny that you're not allowed to do this. Like, hey, there's literally a genocide going on right now. There's a genocide going on, and this is what you do.
The public and the government. These include attacks at Talis in Glasgow.
"21 years ago, a human rights..."
Oh, sorry. I just say that I was muted to get your attention, to make you all comment shit and say hello. Basically, Palestine Action are a group of people who target Israeli weapons factories, who go and have recently targeted a British airbase, and for this they were prescribed as a terrorist organisation. Now, this is a decent statement probably from Zara Sultana. I've not seen it.
Barrister stood in court and defended an activist who broke into RAF Fairford, trying to disable a bomber to prevent war crimes in Iraq. That case became a landmark in law.
And basically, what they're talking here, Keir Starmer himself defended or attempted to defend someone who was who did the similar thing.
Lawful, non-violent direct action against an illegal war. That barrister is now our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, KC. He argued that it was not terrorism but conscience. Fast forward to 20th of June 2025. 2 Palestine Action activists enter RAF Bryce Norton and sprayed red paint, not fire, on aircraft linked to surveillance flights over Gaza. Instead of prosecuting them for criminal damage, which is what normally is done, the Home Secretary is using the Terrorism Act to prescribe them as a terrorist group.
By the way, I've mentioned why this is being done. This is being done for one exclusive reason. It is being done because Palestine Action threatened the UK government and their support for the genocide of Israel's genocide.
Madam Deputy Speaker, this is an unprecedented and dangerous overreach of the state. Never before in Britain has it been a crime to simply support a group. This order lumps a non-violent network of students, nurses, teachers, firefighters and peace campaigners, ordinary people, my constituents and yours, with neo-Nazi militias and mass casualty cults. Palestine Action's real crime, we have to be clear, is shutting down Elbit systems sites that arm the Israeli military. Its true offence has been audacious enough to expose the blood-soaked ties between this government and the genocidal Israeli apartheid state.
This is all true. Like, everything she is saying is true. This is their crime. They allow... I spoke about this in my TikTok video, which obviously stopped performing very well because they don't want you to talk about this kind of stuff. But the whole point is like... The whole point of doing this kind of stuff is basically because they don't want anyone to take, like, disruptive forms of activism. They want the only kind of activism to be undertaken to be stuff that is controlled, like the marches in the UK that they have increasingly done. Could this labelling of terrorism not disappear in the future? I mean, in what context do you mean?
And its war machine. So let us be clear, to equate a spray can of paint with a suicide bomb isn't just absurd, it is grotesque. It is a deliberate distortion of the law to chill dissent, criminalise solidarity and suppress the truth. Amnesty International, Liberty, over 266 senior lawyers, UN special rapporteurs have all opposed these draconian measures. Even at this late stage, the order should be withdrawn.
Yeah, and also the UN, UK government, Palestine Action. It's also really funny because, okay, right, you wouldn't believe this. How they got it prescribed is really comical as well. 3 groups to be prescribed: Palestine Action, Maniacs Murder Cult, and Russian Imperial Movement. Like, are there some differences between those? Murder... I've never even heard of the Maniacs Murder Cult. The Murder Cult, it doesn't even say who they are. Maniacs Murder Cult, it doesn't even know who are they? The Maniacs is a violent extreme neo-Nazi group that predominantly operates in the eastern and western of Europe. The group goes by the abbreviations MKY, MKU, MMC, and instructs would-be members to participate in various degrees of offline criminality, including assault, murder, and terrorism to maintain membership. So there's a bit of a difference between people who spray white paint and the Maniacs Murder Cult.
Under this order, anyone expressing moral support for a prescribed group could face 14 years in prison. That includes wearing a badge, wearing a t-shirt, sharing a post, or calling for de-proscription. And journalists have no exemption too. There is no legal protection for reporting favourably, even factually, about Palestine Action. And by this weekend, millions of people, including many of our constituents, could be placed under these sweeping restrictions. And let us not forget what is actually happening in Gaza, where the real crime...
It's so funny that this is like just the point that we're at. Did they put them together so they had to vote to prescribe? Well, yes. No. They voted for all 3 of them at once. So they voted for the Maniacs Murder Cult, who are encouraging acts of murder, and the Russian Imperial Movement, which is it's another white supremacist group that operates primarily within Russia and is seemingly attempting to create a new Russian empire. It's an ethnically motivated, violent hate group. It gives paramilitary-style trading and encouraged members to carry out terror attacks in Sweden, bombing a cafe, a migrant centre, as well as further attempted attacks on a campsite used to house refugees. Is there a bit of a difference between these things?
Are being ignored. Hospitals bombed, children starved, tens of thousands of people killed. Palestinian children now suffer more amputations per capita than anywhere else on earth. Israel on trial for genocide at the ICJ. Israeli Prime Minister with this ICC arrest warrant, and the government's response to criminalise solidarity, to continue exporting lethal F-35 jets that are decimating Gaza. And we have to also understand the history of this country and what built our democracy, the tradition of civil disobedience, from the suffragettes without whom I wouldn't have the vote, let alone the privilege of being here as an MP. Even those who oppose Palestine actions tactics must recognise the vast gulf between criminal damage and terrorism. If this order passes, what's next? Climate protesters, striking workers, feminists in the street?
Yeah, I mean, like, I also think that, to be honest, it's just indicative of a far wider thing of just like unequivocal support for the Israeli government.
Already we've seen a wider crackdown on our civil liberties. Musicians censored, journalists arrested, demonstrating, including MPs sitting here harassed. And now this government wants to use anti-terror laws to make peaceful protest itself a crime. If our democratic institutions functioned as they should, none of this would be necessary. So to conclude...
That's also the key point. It's just an example of huge outrage towards Israel doing genocide and our government's unequivocal support for it.
If this prescription passes, as it will, we have to understand that no campaign will be safe tomorrow. We also have to recognise that this will go down as a dark day in our country's history and one that will be remembered. People will ask, which side were you on? And I stand with the millions of people that oppose genocide because I am one of them. I oppose the blood-soaked hands of this government trying to silence us. So I say this loudly and proudly on Wednesday the 2nd of July, 2025, we are all Palestine. Order!
Yeah, I mean, it's a great statement. Like, it's a good statement. It's strong. What will happen to the members? I mean, I think it'll just be... I don't think the UK law... In my understanding, someone... like, every time I hear people speak so confidently about the law and say stuff, I'm just like, how do you know this? You're not lawyers. But in my understanding, UK law can't be prescribed... can't be retroactively applied. However... I wonder if this is a really stupid decision, because Asa Winstanley, a journalist who's been targeted, someone perhaps far braver than I in terms of what he's willing to say. Hello, Tom. Same shit, just different place. What do you mean? I don't know about the UK, but in Poland, that's common, unless it's abortion. Is it normal for there to be so few people in the room? No. This was actually a heavy vote. Look how much the MPs voted. MPs voted 385 to 26 in favour of the ban, which will make it a criminal offence punishable for up to 14 years to be a member or show support for Palestine action. Isn't that fucking crazy to read? That you could go to prison for 14 years for showing support for Palestine action. Like, unbelievable. Like, genuinely, just, like, it's not congruent with reality, is it? It's congruent with, like, a completely dictatorial country that doesn't want you to be allowed to protest, that only wants controlled opposition. And by controlled opposition, I don't even... And I'm not encouraging people, by the way, to stop going to PSC marches, Palestine Solidarity Campaign. Palestine Solidarity Campaign are the ones who are, like, they organise the ones in the UK. But the Palestine Solidarity Campaign are absolutely... It controlled by the police. Like, 100% they are controlled by the police. In the sense of, when the Gaza genocide first began, PSC were allowed to host a march every 2 weeks. They'd host a big march in London. Now, increasingly, this was reduced and they were stopped to allow it. It came down to once every 3 weeks. Okay, then it was once a month. Then they were told, oh, you're not allowed to march here because there's a synagogue. You're not allowed to do this. And the marches are always have the same people speaking. And as I've said before, I think I should have been allowed to speak at a Palestine Solidarity Campaign march. Like, I'm not saying that I'm like the biggest person in the world, but I know this shit. I've been to so many, and I think if you don't want me, have young social media influencers. Have them fucking talking there. Have people going to talk at these things. I have a Palestine Action banner on my fence at the roadside, and I will happily go to jail for it. I mean, fair enough, Jim Badger. But yeah, like, I just think that this is insane, and putting it next to something called the Maniacs Murder Cult is just, like, unbelievable. Like, okay, yeah, one's against genocide, the other wants to genocide all people who are not Jewish, basically. Who are not white, sorry. I was talking about Israel there, and its desire to genocide Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Sorry, that was a bit of a Freudian slip there, but it's a bit of an unsurprising Freudian slip. When we're talking about, you know, what Palestine Action opposes, because Palestine Action imposes Western involvement. And I read you that quote by Mahmoud Mamdani's dad, Zohran Mamdani's dad the other day, that was like, if you really put Nazism on trial, you would see it as more of like a global, like a genocide that can only be understood in a far wider context of all of the countries who unequivocally supported it and all of these things. But yeah, you can do your march. Well, the thing is they're allowed to march through central London, but it's such a controlled route. It's not. And when it was like, they said it was because it was outside a synagogue. It wasn't because it was outside a synagogue. It's because they dared to go outside the BBC. And it would have been a significant thing. MPs have voted to prescribe all three or none at all, a move which several MPs suggest was intended to pressure parliamentarians to get the measure, and that Palestine Action dubbed a Trumpian tactic. But yeah, Asa Winstanley says apparently they've had 1,000 new recruits since the ban was announced. Must be even more now. It wouldn't surprise me if Palestine Action grows, because what is being shown is that, hey, Palestine Action is actually a very, very, very serious threat to, the Israeli military, the Israeli military machine and such. A year ago, we couldn't even speak out against Israel without threat of cancellation. Things are changing. Don't give up. It's you on the youth that will drive this. Exactly. I think it is. But that's also something that I noticed. There's like a bit of look, at the end of PSC, like there's some people there who aren't, but there's a lot of people there that's like sort of the PSC, like certain people who are just like affiliated with it, and they're like basically PSC royalty and stuff. And it's like, hey, maybe like change the movement a bit and allow people to talk and who have different views on Palestine. Like I don't. Like, I'm not saying, I don't hate Owen Jones, and that should never be taken as my opinion. He's like, he's done decent stuff for Palestine. I think some of the stuff he says, I don't agree with him. But yeah, I think that, like, just hearing him over and over again, maybe you could try and get some different people. More Palestinians, maybe. Yeah, Asa reports for the Electronic Intifada. Sorry, I shouldn't have just showed his profile, because it might have some stuff on there, like violent stuff. God. So, you know that speech we watched earlier? Asa Winstanley tweeted about this, and also Saul Staniforth.
At RAF Bryce Norton, military planes were vandalised and £30 million of damage done. Such attacks undermine our national security, our armed forces, and can
just listen to this. Listen to what he's saying.
Never be justified. I applaud.
PSC are not a movement that changes, though. It's not upped its game in 20 months, hence why people love Palestine Action. Yeah, I think you're kind of right about that. But I think also PSC could have just been stricter on saying, hey, we are going to march on this day. Because what they fucked up really badly on the day where there was the thing, I remember I went because we were just stood. And, like, they need to be marches. You need to be marching around chanting about Palestine if that's what you want to do. You cannot just be boxed into a small area, you know?
The Home Secretary for
and they should have pushed back.
Responding in the strongest possible terms. But Palestine Action also has a track record of attacks against this country's Jewish community. This campaign...
Listen to that! It's just a lie. It's just like a complete and utter lie.
Campaign of anti-Semitic harassment reveals the
anti-Semitic harassment.
Logical conclusion of their extremism, and the important difference between all of the other groups that has been mentioned in this house is that this group targets a specific group within our country of a specific ethnic and religious minority.
Point of order, Zara Sultana.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. During the previous debate on the prescription of Palestine action, the member for High Peak, who I have notified, spoke without declaring that he is chair of Labour Friends of Israel and has accepted.
Just like, also, it's such a fucking conflict of interest. Like, it's insane. And Lamise, you just asked me about it. I'm going to talk about the documentary. But the craziest thing, and I think this has to be noted, like Lonabox genuinely tried to accuse me of like saying Jews control media because I dared to say like, hey, I think Israel has a big sway in, or it's not even Israel, it's people with like really despicably racist and Orientalist views who still staff senior positions in the UK, and they're just pliable towards this Orientalist bullshit. Like, just look at this. So this is the other thing with people that you might care about, people you might know. So Miriam Margolis, Alexei Sale and Mike Lee are signatories criticising Jewish Chronicle ties. So 400 significant figures and 111 BBC journalists signed this letter about this guy. And Owen Jones' video was pretty good on this. So if you want to watch like a slightly longer deep dive, he talks about this. But Robbie Gibb is like a guy with links to the Conservative Party, but he was also he was a director of Jewish Chronicle Media. Now, just a month after Jewish Chronicle, he left the Jewish Chronicle, and I don't think this was the first time, and it will have happened under his fucking tenure as well, mark my words. On September the 4th, Netanyahu called a press conference for foreign media in order to explain his stubborn insistence on keeping Israeli forces in Gaza's Philadelphia corridor. So, this is basically the argument. They were saying that Hamas was intended to be Yahya Sinwar was intended to be smuggled out the remaining hostages via the Philadelphia corridor to Iran, but the Hamas's surviving leaders in Gaza, including Sinwar himself, would be going with them. Such a plan, the article, was reportedly revealed during the interrogation of a captured senior Hamas official, as well as by information documents. Basically, the Jewish Chronicle just made this up. It was straight up Netanyahu government propaganda. And this is a significant figure within UK media, you know? This is a significant figure within it, yeah. Have you seen the video of Destiny? Yeah, I have seen that. That's kind of what I've spoken about in my new video. Well, my new script for my video, which I need to finish. I've not been doing so well at finishing it. And Ethan Klein can't resist promoting Lonabox, so we'll talk about that shortly. Have you seen the video of Destiny? Yeah, I have seen that. Sorry, I was just about to say that. I was wondering if I was the only one who heard it. Check. Shut up. Stop being ridiculous. They would probably be more safe in Iran, lol. Probably than being killed by Israel in Gaza, yes. But yeah, basically, this guy, like, this is who is influencing British media. A guy who worked with the Jewish Chronicle? Like a paper, like, that is, Jewish Chronicle, I think, has libelled a lot of people. Jewish Chronicle pays substantial libel to Nada al-Sanjari. The case for an Ipso investigation into this by hacking inquiry. Douglas Murray wins major libel claim. That's different. Yair Golan accused of blood libel. I mean, the Jewish Chronicle is just lawsuits and rulings. Saying that Labour MP Christopher Mayhew had made Mayhew sued for libel, that his comments were anti-Zionist but not anti-Semitic. He dropped the case after receiving a public apology both from Edelman and the newspaper in the High Court. A complaint Mayhew to the Press Council about the editing. In 2009, International Solidarity Movement accepted £30,000 in damage as an apology from the paper over a letter it had published claiming that he had harboured 2 suicide bombers. It's kind of insane, you know, that this is the guy who's influencing this. He was involved in a takeover. And they were the ones who decided not to show the documentary about Gaza, which we'll talk about shortly.
Hospitality and overseas trips funded by pro-Israel lobby organisations. The House was discussing a non-violent direct action group that directly challenges the Israeli state, which is on trial for genocide against the Palestinian people. Can you advise me, Madam Deputy Speaker, on what mechanisms are available so the British public are truly aware of what interests are being represented on this floor?
Yeah, I mean, this is a key point to talk about. Like, hey, what interests are being represented here? You know? Also, I've seen this as well. The Hans Zimmer statement. I think someone just asked about it, but Elab asked about it. This is Hans Zimmer's statement, but it was also deleted. He said, Palestine is the story, not Glastonbury. Mass starvation is the story, not Glastonbury. IOF members admitting to intentionally shooting, he called it the IOF, civilians that pose no risk, seeking aid is the story, not Glastonbury. Addictive opioids in bags of flour to a starved population is the story, not Glastonbury. Genocide is the story, not Glastonbury. Palestine is the story, not Glastonbury. It's a very good statement. I think it is the truth. You know, we've heard so much of this, and Israel does all of these things and does heinous things, and yet we just kind of have to hear about why, you know, Israel is acceptable, is moral, and we're just hearing about people fucking what they chanted about death to the IOF. I saw Ethan had some interesting takes on that. He was crying about people saying death to Israeli soldiers.
What would your message to them be?
My message would be,
Open President, thank you for the 100 gifted subs. Oh, you found his account?
Today, I will show you 3 ways you can use.
So, Lonerbox had some very cool things to say about this. So, because Ethan can't resist fucking being horrible to Taylor Lorenz. Shout out Taylor Lorenz.
Soldiers. They wanted death to the IDF soldiers.
No, they didn't say death to the IDF soldiers. They said death to the IDF. Again, the IDF is a military entity. If people would like the public to change their sentiments around the IDF, they should advocate.
What do you think the IDF is?
It's
a genocidal terror organization.
Military organization. Again, if people want that, people are very angry at right now because this military organization is currently.
Yeah, again, so like, so you're saying that he's talking about the IDF as an institution, not killing the people. And then obviously this is the guy, Bob Villain from 1 month ago.
Death to every single IDF soldier out there.
Also, what does this change?
An agent of terror.
What does this change? It's a statement of death to an IDF soldier who is... Death to IDF soldiers doing genocide, and Ethan pulls this up as like some dunk on Taylor. Taylor's responding to a specific comment, and she can change her opinion if she wants, if she really wants to. I mean, I wouldn't, because who cares? Like, who cares? This is not the story. Israel doing genocide is the fucking story, as Hans Zimmer put it. But I think Hans Zimmer deleted this. He's already deleted it. He called it the IOF. I don't know if that's true. Oh, I accidentally showed the wrong one. Sorry, that is interesting though, but we'll talk about that in a second. Oh, bloody hell. So just... Oh, what is my PC fucking doing here? Oh, fucking hell. So this is what, does anyone have pearls? Yeah. Goonerbox, a Bonerbox, has a grating voice. I can't stand it. I hate that we have to talk around this because we all know what the idea is. I mean, I'm not going to talk around it. I don't disagree with this statement. Like, they're soldiers. They are soldiers doing genocide. They are not like some good, just, moral, like, acceptable institution that we should sit here and, like, give explanations for, that we should say are acceptable, or just anything. Israel is a genocidal settler colony, and these soldiers are the ones doing the genocide. You know? It's like, I'm sorry, like, who fucking cares? Israel is doing genocide. Like, Israel is doing genocide. Like, that's what matters. Moron box, indeed. But I mean, I mean, when you look at who Ethan is now surrounded by, people like fucking Tectone, and I know Ethan isn't directly surrounded by him, that Tectone's only within the, like, thing, joining Dunking on Denims, that his subreddit are now celebrating Tectone. Like, Ethan is obsessed with Hassan's, like, relationship with Bad Empanada that is watching a couple of videos. Tectone is literally joining in a lawsuit to dogpile on Denims and to target her, to make her shut up, to dare not to speak about the things that he has done or things that he has allegedly done. And so you kind of sit there and you know, you see what Ethan's community has become. And there was a really funny quote from Healer recently. Healer said that Ethan is more 2016 than ever. And when you consider that Boston bombing marathon video that Ethan made, where he was fetishizing and saying those things, I think Ethan is more 2016 than ever. Any progressive view that he held has regressed. He is now just full on engaging in orgiastic fucking hatred towards women. So I'm sorry, like, even if he directly is not, like, engaging in the most misogynistic things, it's a community of people who are incredibly misogynistic, you know? Incredibly misogynistic. People with heinous allegations against them. People like Destiny, who has serious allegations against him. Serious allegations against him. People like fucking him who have serious allegations against him. Also, Bad Empanada's back on Twitter, back on his bullshit.
Then he's calling...
And we have the greatest loner box clip of all time that is obligatory to play.
Teenager, a toddler. That's, like, so ridiculous.
Why is that ridiculous?
Who calls a teenager a toddler? Obviously, like, more that he said, like, it was happening often.
It's happening often that he's saying, like, toddlers, like 3 or 4 year olds are being sniped directly. That is a normal thing in Gaza right now.
I don't know. It like, well, nobody really.
But the images they're showing you, but he's like literally referring to images that he's seen. I don't even think he's necessarily lying. I think when people are describing atrocities and horrors or whatever, yeah, they might sometimes describe like a young person as a baby or a toddler. Yeah, that's not, it's like, you can call a fucking 17-year-old a toddler.
This is one of the most deranged statements I've ever heard, but Lonerbox's reaction here is exactly what he did the whole time we had a discussion towards
if you're in the right mood for it, you know? It's not like an unusual thing to do.
Bro, what?
Yeah,
dude,
sorry.
What?
Shut the fuck up! You're a toddler to me!
Shut the fuck up. Bro, you're a toddler to me, just so you know, from the way you're talking to me, right?
Okay, that's fair.
That's not unusual to say that, okay?
Photographs.
See, the two children he's looking at here, again, can you even tell in this picture, did they look like... What, like 2 or 3 years old?
I don't like maybe not.
Is this guy a toddler? Like on my screen right now? Like.
Yeah, probably not.
So he said, "I've got 2 cases of 2."
Hold on, I don't know if I can show that because of the images.
Cases of people who don't actually look that much like toddler. Like, you know, you can go through like on my here again. Can you even tell in this picture? Did they look like like 2 or 3 years old?
Like, yeah, it's just very deranged. Very deranged. Like, these are just the people who are, like, fans of Ethan. These are just people who are fans of Ethan, who he brings on the podcast. People willing to say anything to justify Israel. And Hassan has landed himself in hot water for doing something. We can watch it here. I'm not going to watch it on Ethan's story.
You found him?
I might be added to the lawsuit for refusing to watch a clip of Hassan on Ethan's story.
Oh, you found his account?
Today, I will show you 3 ways you can use your smart...
Wait, this is the guy?
First thing we want to do is download the U2 VPN app, which we can do through the first link in the description.
Fuck are you gonna do, bro? Write a petition? Let's do a crusade, he says. Let's do a fucking crusade, he says. Let's hang Hassan and Mamdani for treason, he said.
What? So this is, my fucking god. So this is being framed as like Hassan doing something evil. Someone was talking about doing a fucking crusade against him and hanging him. Like, what?
The fuck are you gonna do? Go on a fishing expedition? Try to fucking put malware in my phone? Is that what you're gonna do? You skinny bitch. Ugly.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But this is just like the point of Ethan's community. Just like everything anything does is like, yeah. Jesus. They still aren't meant to get shot at. How are people this? That's how the internet was. Yeah, but I understand it's how the. I mean, is it how the internet works? I think the funny thing is because I've been on TikTok, no matter the reach I've got, like people haven't been that interested. I mean, I see some things that are totally fucking fake. Like someone said the other day that I was calling someone anti-Semitic, but I don't know what they're I don't know what they're talking about. Like, I mean, maybe the person is anti-Semitic, but people just say things that just don't involve me, and I'm just like, I said Breezy Politics was anti-Semitic. Someone said that on Leftovers H3. I don't know who Breezy Politics is /are. Like I don't know who that is. You know, I don't know what to say about that. Hassan rhymes with Hamas. It does indeed. Love how Bonerbox thinks a kid's rage wrong is worse than the act of killing people. I mean, yeah, and also, like, look, I'm not gonna go through it because it's boring. Like, he's a really boring character. Like, one of the things that Lonerbox spoke for ages about was how, like, the Great March of Return actually had a really high number of, like, Hamas militants killed. It wasn't that high, first of all. But second of all, so many people were wounded, and that was just totally disregarded in his analysis. But, you know, it doesn't matter. That's not really what matters. It's all about just defending Israel in every way possible. And it's kind of like this thing of just finding one piece of information which fits with what you want to say. And so on the topic of Palestine action, the RAF should comment if the engine was repaired and how much it cost. So apparently, one of the planes that they're saying caused 30 million of damage by Palestine action is now flying. Apparently. It's now back flying. So how's that working? It flew to Glasgow. Maybe it flew to pick up Lonerbox. So open carry is super normal for me. Ugh, I don't live in a place with guns, so yeah, I don't live in a place with guns. But yeah, Jordan pretty clearly. So this is Matthew Petty as well. I just wanted to talk about this because this is a point you hear about all the time. Like someone was saying, when Egypt was relinquishing Gaza, they don't say, hey, let's give it back to the Palestinians. The Jordanians never said, let's give the West Bank and Jerusalem back to the Palestinians. It's because those were the very countries who initially created the Palestinian scam to justify taking land away from Israel. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. But yeah, Jordan pretty clearly tied its relinquishment of the West Bank to the Oslo Accords. I don't know that necessarily, but there was always this option that Jordan kept fucking proposing, that Jordan wanted to take Palestine, but as part of its interest, to take the West Bank. But Palestinians actually said, hey, we don't want to be part of Jordan. They said, we want to live in our historic homeland. And by the way, during the time of the Second Intifada, most people were advocating for a two-state solution rather than, you know, the fantastic visions of what people say now. But and he was also saying all Palestine government, I've not heard much about the all Palestine government. So the all Palestine government was to govern the Egyptian controlled territory, which Egypt, had on the same day declared as the All-Palestine Protectorate. It was confirmed by the Arab League and recognised as 6 of the 7 Arab megas, with Transjordan being the exception. Though it claimed jurisdiction over the whole of former mandatory Palestine, its effective jurisdiction was limited to the All-Palestine, which came to be called the Gaza Strip. The president of the Protectorate was Haj Amin al-Husseini. The Mufti, former chairman of the Arab High Committee, and the Prime Minister was Ahmed Hilmi Pasha, the legislative body of the all blah 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 blah. Thereafter, King Jordan began to take steps to effect the annexation of those parts of Palestine that his... So, I mean, there's always self-interest from these people who want to annex it, but, like, these aren't, like, heroes, you know? I don't know. You put it in the general chat of the Discord. Okay, 1 second. I'm just moving my picture away, and I'll go have a look. Hassan shows hog. And look, guys, look how clever I am. I brought it back instantly.
A fishing expedition? Try to fucking put malware in my phone? Is that what you're gonna do? You skinny bitch. Ugly ass. That's not him, it's this. Oh, it's even worse. Oh my god. Does he even show his face in it?
ping for U.S. servers is kind of high, or there is.
Oh no, it's even worse.
Just anyone talking about crypto and doing these things is ridiculous. Yeah. See you later, Hyper J.
It's even worse.
Yeah. I know I should have dragged Discord off. It was stupid. I moved my picture away so I could drag Discord off, but there was nothing showing on Discord, so it's fine.
Guess who he's a fan of? Awesome.
I don't think there was anything on the Discord window. I accidentally showed my whole Discord the other day, but yeah. So there's nothing to worry about. I don't think.
First time catching him on Lamau, the infamous chat.
No U.S. server.
It's also really funny that, like, the vast majority of people who are like, I'm a beta soy cuck, just look like this.
So, but the ping hasn't really affected my gameplay at all up until this point. There has been mine.
Bro, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how this fucking dude, who's advocating to hang me for treason, is mad at me, okay? Is mad at me and doesn't realize that Trump is going to...
Tony Soprano Lover has spoken. Like the stream, everyone. Get liking this shit.
Cook his family. Okay? Trump is going to destroy this motherfucker's family. Like, your grandparents and all of the people...
God, also, by the way, like, the psychosexual obsession with Hassan that is just now Ethan Klein's world is so sad. It's just fucking sad. In fact, I have a psychosexual obsession with Hassan until he lets me on his stream again.
That you love and cherish are going to get fucked over with this new Trump tax cut. That's crazy to me. That's something that I'll never understand. That was supposed to hurt, get beat up enough in 2020 when we dragged y'all Uhuru. Lol, I'm actually in Singapore, buddy.
Like, this is literally just... I'm sorry, like, I mean, I am going to make one final video about Ethan, and then that's the last video I ever make about Ethan, I promise you. But, like, Ethan's story is... This is the same people that drone on and on about that I doxed public-facing Instagram accounts for clicking their profile. Now is the time to show the same energy, y'all. Not to mention how absolutely is saying while brandishing a weapon, and apparently it's not even the correct person. Do you see now how nothing matters to these people? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Crusade.
They've already jumped on that and are working to get it fixed as we speak.
He said Uhuru. He already...
What has Hassan said is controversial? I mean, Hassan has said America deserved 9/11, which most people would say is controversial, and framing it in that way perhaps is. Like, just talking about it that way. But, like, ultimately, he never said he wanted to have sex with, you know, an underage victim of a literal bombing. Like, hey, he never did that. He never repeatedly said the N-word over and over again. Ethan loves to post these old videos of Hassan. And Hassan can't actually be that old in those old videos. Like, 18, 19, 20s. Ethan's, like, fucking 30 and he's talking about, like, the N-word and stuff.
He got site-wided? Oh, yeah. They already got fucking clapped. Of course they did. They fucking told a Twitch streamer that they are gonna be hung.
To be fair, I don't even know why I'm defending this guy. He said I had a bad fucking moustache. Shall I launch, like, should I just start tweeting about Ethan Klein? Sorry, Hassan every single day. So I just start tweeting about Hassan. Hassan said my moustache looks bad. Yeah, his facial hair looks unequal. Hassan said my moustache looks bad, so I think that he should be shot.
Hanged.
Start a beef with Hassan. I'm going to start posting like this in Hassan's chat.
That I'm excited to meet with them. I'm excited to speak with them because ultimately my vision for this city is one that includes all of us, and that includes...
This guy streamed for 7 hours. Oh, yeah. Wait, I'll actually watch this video.
All right.
This video is fucking crazy. I want to watch it as well.
Of Uganda filed their request.
Who's his son? His dad. He's the son of someone. Oh, how am I forgetting his name? Here it is.
The Ugandan Jews, known as the Bayudaya, these are a small community in eastern Uganda who converted to Judaism when Jews came to Uganda, as the British government made the
It's Idi Amin's son. I was trying to work out who this was. I was trying to remember. I kept thinking it was Robert Mugabe. This is fucking Idi Amin's son.
historical proposal to give Uganda to Jews. Yeah? I sometimes wonder.
You know, one of the other funny things is people actually often like to bring up, where was the African country? They planned to go to Uganda, didn't they? Theodore Herzl, Uganda. Was that, am I making this up? Maybe I'm being wrong. Uganda. Yeah, Uganda plan. Anyway, when they thought about doing that, the only thing that is kind of forgotten is still a lot of people basically viewed it as getting a foothold in Africa to then go over to go over further into to get to the Middle East, basically. So that was discussed in something I read recently.
Why anyone would have such an idea if it is not anti-Semitism, where the British didn't want any Jews in Europe anymore and sent them.
He's also right. There was, you know what's really funny is the anti-Semitism of like people at the time. There were some people who just straight up didn't like Jews. There were lots of people though who had like philo-Semitic beliefs, such as they would say and do things like they believed that Jewish people were like all powerful, and so if you gave them a state, that would be really good. Winston Churchill liked Israel because he thought it was a way to undermine the Bolsheviks, who he saw as like a... Actually, that's not true. Winston Churchill did it to undermine the Bolsheviks because he saw them as like taking up Jewish people.
Them here. Anyway, when Israel started...
No, the Nazis planned to send them to Madagascar. That's what I was confusing. Uganda was the Theodore Herzl.
Implementing its policy of...
South America was discussed, but only Israel would have ever worked. Like, none of these other places would have worked as settler colonies. But there are actually... we found this out recently. There's a Welsh-speaking community. So if you don't know what Wales is like a small... It's like a country that's basically... It's part of the UK, but people in Wales want to be their own independent country. Or like a decent amount, but I don't know. But there's like a group of people who live in Patagonia who are just Welsh. It's really odd.
Granting any Jew in the world free Israeli citizenship, the Bayudai of Uganda filed their request to move to Israel, but were all denied Israeli citizenship for not practicing Judaism enough. However, the white South Africans who converted to Judaism as their racist apartheid regime collapsed in 1994, barely practicing their new faith even once, were quickly granted Israeli citizenship and fled to Israel. I wonder why.
I wonder why. Son of President Idi Amin. What's this guy's most popular video?
The Ugandan Free Palestine. This is
I am not watching a 5-minute video of I'm not watching a 5-minute video of Idi Amin's son.
Let's all first agree on one thing.
Sorry, I'm not playing that because it might be copyrighted. Why has it got like creepy music over it? I like his voice, but why has it got creepy music over it? Like, what is that all about? Oh God, what is that? I mean, unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. Incredible things. Who does he follow? He just follows TikTok. That's it. He just follows TikTok. Idi Amin Dada, rest in peace. I don't know much about Idi Amin. He's not really my area of expertise. I mean, I'm told he's a dictator who was very brutal, but, you know, I don't doubt that, but I think that we have a lot of people who are very, very brutal who just basically work in our service until they don't. The United Kingdom broke diplomatic relations, and Amin declared he had defeated the British and added CBE to his title. Bloody hell, conqueror of the British Empire. Who built the pyramids? Yeah, he does seem... That is what he's about to do. He's about to start telling us about the who built the pyramids. Horror music _ 32 MP3. That is exactly what it sounds like. What's Hassan saying?
Quest to move to Israel.
Easy.
Deadly Bill in the house. Diddy trial over. I mean, I guess he talks about a lot of different things to me. Maybe I could talk about Alligator Alcatraz, but I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I've just seen people making disgusting videos about it. So we've had incredible things are happening in Israel. And if you saw me debate George the London Accountant, shout out George the London Accountant, one of our heroes of our time. Great guy, great friendship. I love him. The Israeli Foreign Ministry has declared that, has told us that Amnesty International has now joined forces with Hamas. Wow! This is interesting. Amnesty are now apparently Hamas. Who would have known it? Someone who opposes Israel is Hamas. Who would have thought that, eh? The facts, of course, are entirely different from the picture that Amnesty Hamas is trying to portray. Since May 19th, Israel has facilitated the entry of over 3,000 aid trucks into the Gaza Strip. More than 1,400 tons of baby formula have been delivered. Over 56 million meals have been distributed by the GHF. How many days has it been since May 19th? $45 days. So that's 45 days. So how many did they say? 56,000 divided by 45. That's however many meals there are divided by 1,800,000. So is that... Have I done something wrong there? Am I being stupid, or is that like a really small amount of meals? Have I done something wrong there? Because you'd have 56 million is the number of meals that they claim that they've distributed over 45 days. So that's 0.693. I think that's right? That's correct. Like, my maths is correct here. So that's just not that many meals, is it? Is my maths right? Or have I done something wrong? Can one of you explain? What are you trying to calculate here? Sorry. I'm doing fucking maths. That's the correct math. Well, so they claim they've donated 56 million meals. It's been 45 days since then. So we divide 56 million by 45. So that brings us to this number. And so that's basically per day. And then we divide that by 1.8 million, which is the number of the people in the Gaza Strip. And yeah, less than 1 meal per person. It's like, that's kind of insane. Over 56 million, 1,400 tons of baby formula. Any babies are there in Gaza? What age does a baby need for... Oh my god. So apparently 12 months is the point at which the Okay, so apparently, according to this, which is bollocks, because it told me, I was having a panic earlier about something, and it told me that something was true. It's just not true. So this is basically, oh god, no, you know what, no, I'm not doing this math. Someone cleverer than I can do this. Yeah. There are apparently like 130 children born every day in Gaza. So, yeah, it's just unbelievable still. Apparently, Gaza's population is down by 6%, according to the Palestinian Authority, which is quite a high amount, especially considering that there are so many babies born every day. Oh, I don't know whether... But this just isn't that much. This just isn't that much food. Did it tell you fenugreek? No, it didn't tell me fenugreek was something that it wasn't. I know what fenugreek is. I'm not allergic to walnuts, so that's a good day for me. That's some good news. I mean, I don't fucking trust AI. I don't trust AI. At all, but I don't trust random websites. What's his problem? Whose problem? My problem? Well, over 56 million have been distributed by the GHF directly to Palestinians, not to Hamas. Also, why couldn't a civilian just go take it and then sell it to Hamas? Like, why couldn't they do that, theoretically? And, like, or work out something to do with it where you could increase the amount you could possibly have, so you could sell stuff to Hamas and all of these things. Yeah, why are these implausible? Why are these, like, totally implausible things that could happen? But, you know, Hamas are stupid, basically. Basically, 30 calories per person per day. Is that the case? Supplemented with milk or formula. It's a woefully insufficient amount of food, and a lot of the food they got can't be prepared without water, which they don't have. I mean, well, I think people have water as well, but I don't think that there's, like, a brilliant amount of it. Yeah, and also, someone called me crazy for saying that, like, that comment about, I don't worship at the Temple of October the 7th enough. I genuinely think that that is not, like, some crazy thing to say. I genuinely think there is a thing of, like, you have to worship and say, like, oh, I feel that, like, October the 7th was so bad. Like, think about what BBC and all of these things do. Like, come on. Come on. Like, it really is that. Sorry, Bad Empanada posted a video of... And also, so Lonabox is now claiming that that clip didn't show him saying it's okay to shoot toddlers when it did, but I don't care talking about him anymore. And also, don't things like stress and other things affect breast milk production? So, yeah. But no, I would describe it as like that. Like, there's genuinely this thing where you have to go, October the 7th is bad. It was 2 years ago, and existing within the context of what Israel has done since, why are you actually just constantly talking about that? Why are you constantly talking about this? Why do you feel the fucking need to go, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, Israel has taken a doctor's hostage. It has been raping people. It was doing that before October the 7th, you know? It's like, yeah. It's just like, oh, God.
And the two is still...
Sorry, here's a video of Alan Dershowitz as well. Sorry, I will get more back on track, but I want to see this.
Being negotiated between the mediators and the two sides. And it is not acceptable to rush in claiming that it is Israel that accepted and Palestinians did not. On the other hand, I have to
why
also clarify...
Why doesn't Hamas now announce that it would accept it if Israel accepts it?
Mr. Peace Morgan, I want to be polite.
Mr. Pierce Morgan.
In this meeting, in this discussion. So if Mr. Dorshovich interrupts me again, I will not be silent.
Also, look at, seriously, look at this. Even The Guardian, anything The Guardian writes about Palestine, anything that The Guardian writes about Palestine has this. Understanding what is happening in the Middle East. Sorry, it's just like, oh, they've changed it, have they? Oh, they've changed it. It's not as bad anymore. They used to have a worse one. Oh, that's mad. I haven't even checked that in a while. I'll see if it is the same. Yeah, they have changed it. Mad. They were like, oh, we're so deeply worried about events in the Middle East. Kind of crazy. kind of crazy, so that's good.
So please let him.
Well, I mean, Alan Dershowitz is awesome because a few days ago he posted a video talking about why they should lower the age of consent. He's a very, very interesting guy.
Not interrupt me, okay?
Like, I say he's awesome because it is genuinely impressive to be doing shit that's this stupid.
He's not the one who's interviewing me, it's you. So please stay silent till I finish my talk. Israel is not the one. Israel is the one that have destroyed any possibility for peace, not Palestinians. When did Israel accept?
Also, by the way, this is something that Loner Box and Destiny always try and obfuscate. They're like, Palestinians had deals. Palestinians had a deal, the Oslo Accords. They genuinely believed they were going to get a two-state solution. And look what it turned into. Just not that at all. It turned into a thing where Israel was just not interested in it.
Its occupation of Palestinian land. When did Israel accept the right of the Palestinian people? Shut up, please, and let me finish. Shut up. Shut up. Don't tell me
you asked the question. I want to answer it.
You keep interrupting me. Don't interrupt me. I did not interrupt you while you talk. When
you ask a question, I want to answer it. You asked the question.
This time, don't ask me questions. You are not the interviewer. You shut up and let me finish. Israel is the one that rejected.
You asked the question.
You have to eat 500 to 800 extra calories to maintain milk supply. Most women in Gaza aren't even getting the basic calories. I mean, yeah, if you watch the Channel 4 documentary, Gaza Doctors Under Attack, you can see, like, there's a doctor talking to someone and he's just like, you're not producing enough milk. There's not enough milk for the baby. And it must be such a horrifying thing to hear.
Israel is the one that rejected to end occupation. Israel is the one that refuses up till now the establishment of an independent Palestinian state. Not only that, Israel passed a law in the Israeli Knesset, which says Israel passed a law in the Israeli Knesset which said that the right of self-determination on the land of historic Palestine, which they call Eretz Israel, is exclusive for Jewish people. So don't talk to me about peace. Israel is the main obstacle to peace. Israel has always been the main obstacle to peace. Israel will always be the main obstacle to peace as long as they have these fascists
let me answer
in the government.
But also, this is I think the only thing that Barghouti is wrong about there is that I think this is actually a much bigger problem than just the current fascists. Israel's just not interested in peace. Also, right, here's another thing about the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which I'm seeing some stirrings about it being good. So, this is the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation saying how they distributed 1.8 million meals. Gaza Humanitarian Foundation says the distributions were at Saudi SDS2, so this is the name of it, Khan Yunis SDS3, Wadi Gaza SDS4. The 10 a.m. openings of the 10 a.m. openings of these two were announced at 9:43 and 9:44 local time. That's 16 to 17 minutes of notice. There was no announcement for SDS4. We'll open the distribution center in Saudi district on July 2. Please use the safe passageways. So this is it. They just post like a couple of hours before, and that's it. They just post a couple of hours, and then that's it. A couple of minutes before, not even fucking hours. And then they complain about chaos? Something about Dersh's neck folds make a boy want to act up. Crazy. You're crazy for this one. In those 16 to 7, Palestinians must get to specified waiting points. These are located deep within IOF-declared combat zones, though the GHF never makes this clear. So the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation just doesn't make clear what's going on. What? Fuck off. At the official opening time, 10 a.m., Palestinians may travel the remaining distance. That's 1.2 kilometers for SDS2, 1.4 kilometers for SDS3, roughly 20-minute walk or a 10-minute if you walk. But within 11 minutes of opening, the food had run out. Mad. 13k boxes in 11 minutes mean handing them out of 20 per seconds. This is clearly not an orderly distribution. So this is how sick this organization. This is how sick of an organization this really is. They create the same problems. They create these problems of like Palestinians panicking and seeking to get aid, and then they kill them for it. It's kind of mad, like when you put it in that context, when you put it in this context of what they're actually doing there. I'm telling you all, watch what you say in this chat, because that's when Chris is going to look down. Indeed, watch what you say in this chat. I'm always looking. I just never, ever, ever, ever want to talk to you. I hate it. Oh my god, I actually will talk about Alligator Alcatraz. I didn't know this about it. And 46, not acceptable. Deport all those who haven't liked. No, there's 178 likes on the stream. Refresh this bitch. We going crazy with the likes right now. But yeah, always looking, never reading. And it's not unusual. Gaza Humanitarian Foundation sites typically close within 9 minutes of opening. They're followed by reports of fatal shootings near the sites. Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has cast doubt on the connection between the shootings and its aid distributions, but we found that overall deaths in Gaza rise significantly on days without more. This is literally like the most comically evil organization imaginable. Like, that guy who I was like debating, quote unquote, was like denying that this happens, and it's like, hey, all of the evidence points to this happening. Like, all of the evidence points to what I'm saying happening. And yet, you know, you are telling me that it didn't happen? You are telling me that this thing didn't happen? That this is something completely different? That, like, this actually, no, they didn't kill anyone? And that Hamas do this? It's fucking insane. Like the stream, and Chris will look at a comment. Yes. Insane. It's not aid at all. It's a mousetrap. I wouldn't even know if I'd describe it as a mousetrap. These are created to ethnically cleanse the population of Gaza, and like fully. Part of it, we'll watch this. Part of it is, because I saw this earlier, we should watch it. Part of this is also about making aid distribution an unsafe problem, like genuinely.
The aid points run by Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, GHF, are controversial. Critics call them death traps. The IDF says it is examining...
Well, I mean, Destiny was telling us that Israel... Destiny told us that Israel didn't do this.
Humanitarian agency, and what they do is... a fake humanitarian agency, and what they do is... they lure Palestinians from all over Gaza to come to a specific area in Gaza and say, hey, we're promising you food, we're promising you medicine. Then they show up, the IDF opens fire and murders them.
Why? This is anti-Semitism, and this is...
It's really funny. This is anti-Semitism. Like, look at this. This is anti-Semitism. This is anti-Semitism according to Destiny. It's anti-Semitic to report that this is actually happening. Like, it's like... I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, listen to this.
This is retarded anti-Semitism.
You can ask me a pretty long-winded question. I'll look at it, and if I can answer it, I'll respond.
Like, how stupid, or would you have to be to believe this and then report it? To lure people to food stations and open fire in the places that are probably going to have the most amount of people reporting, recording, and...
Who makes these fucking idiotic things as well? It's also really funny, because this is just to appeal to idiotic people.
Observing, like, this is so stupid. What do you think you're even saying? It's so dumb.
Bursts of gunfire.
That's not the full Destiny video. I want to see if I can find the full video. Stephen Bunnell II. God, Americans have such weird, stupid names. I can't even find it. I thought Destiny posted them himself, but it's a really stupid take. Really stupid take. Anyway, when Destiny talks, his mouth moves side to side. You can't unsee it. What? What are you talking about?
What's up? I'm going to be in Tampa on the night of July 12th, and I'll be debating MAGA people.
That's the thing.
No, you can just say that's the thing.
Iran is all mountains, so it's very easy for mountains
it's
on the ground.
Like, it's a what? It's what?
A guy.
I can't watch this. It's got music on. I don't know. I didn't see the side to side.
Reports of civilians being...
So it says Charlie K. Bradminton. I don't have a name. Excuse you. His name is Mr. Bonicelli. Mr. Bonicelli, you can't be saying that.
Harmed, and GHF itself says there have been no incidents or fatalities at or near its sites, and that this is all Hamas disinformation. So we've got incidents, reports, disinformation. But we have found a clear pattern in the data that shows that Palestinian deaths increase when GHF sites are open. This is what we're talking about. This footage is of an incident near the Netzarim corridor. Shows people taking cover from gunfire in the middle of Gaza last week. We've geolocated the instance near a GHF site over here, and we've done the same for multiple other incidents where fatalities were reported. As of July the 2nd, the Gaza Health Ministry, run by Hamas, has said that 600 people have been killed. Israel and GHF say that this is...
I love how also you just have to get in the run by Hamas.
Disinformation, claiming that no one has died at these aid sites. But we've analysed the reports of deaths and injuries on the days that the aid sites have been open, and we found that deaths and injuries in Gaza are higher on days when more of the GHF aid sites are operational. In other words, when more sites are open, more people die. You can see that here. On days when the GHF conducts just 2 distributions or fewer, health officials report an average of 48 deaths in red and 189 injuries in yellow. But if we look at days with 5 or 6 GHF distributions, authorities have reported almost 3 times as many casualties, this chart over here. We also found that, on average, 30% of aid distributions have ended in violence. Between the 8th of June and the 1st of July, there were 77 distributions across and the 1st of July, there were 77 distributions across
Sorry, I was muted. Who are you debating? I'm not debating anyone. Am I? Who am I debating? When was I debating? I wasn't debating anyone.
GHF's 4 sites. You can see those marks over here. SDS's secure distribution sites. Now, 23 of those distributions, at least, there were reports of fatal shootings. That gives us that average of 30%. We've also spoken to eyewitnesses.
All along the way, you're hiding. You hide here, then run, then hide again. At any moment, they might shoot you. You might make it back, or you might not. I witnessed death firsthand. Bodies lay bleeding on the ground.
I know I'm muted, but also the funny thing is when you're all telling me I'm muted, I can't see it until, like, you're seeing me previously.
All around me. This is not right. Food should be delivered to UN warehouse. Must be shut down.
We asked the IDF for comment, and this is what they said. The IDF did not instruct the forces to deliberately shoot at civilians, including those approaching distribution centres.
Really good to hear from the IDF about what they definitely don't do.
To be clear, IDF directives prohibit deliberate attacks on civilians. They also...
no, they don't. They encourage... the directives might, but the Israeli government and the Israeli people serving there encourage it. It's also like this, as I've said, you know... smarter Israeli propagandists will be like, oh, there's one crazy guy like Yehuda Vach, but the Yehuda Vach is like literally just in leagues with the Israeli, with like Israel Katz, Israel's defense minister. The idea that it's just like, you know, some fucking random people doing this, it's encouraged.
In light of reports of incidents of harm to the civilians.
I do debates on TikTok. I just don't do them on here because I don't know, my chat's much more people who are interested in me and like me. But on TikTok, I just do it because it is quite funny, I've got to be honest. It's like, it's hard to do a TikTok stream as well because you can't pull stuff up and react to it, but yeah.
Approaching the
Deaf IDF, what are you saying? Oh my god, that's so offensive, guys. Stop typing deaf in the chat. No.
Distribution centres. The incidents are being examined by the relevant IDF authorities, and further action will be taken as necessary. Recently, over 200 NGOs have signed a letter calling for immediate action to end the GHF scheme, which they say is led by Israel, and to go back to the existing UN-led coordination mechanisms.
People say the NHS...
Right, and then there's a couple of other things that I want to watch on this topic, but here's some very exciting Piers Morgan content.
Literally, they say the NHS will die without reform. Are they saying that they're going to be the mass murder of doctors and patients?
So to be clear, when you watch that rapper at Glastonbury chanting and leading a chant with thousands joining in of death to the IDF, you instinctively believe...
He said it himself. He said...
Oh, no, he said it since. What? So you accept then that the rapper was talking about soldiers?
No,
You don't?
people call for the death of the Russian army all the time.
Do you believe him 100%?
Yes.
That when he said death to the IDF, he didn't mean individuals. Do you believe that?
Well, he's actually unlike. I mean, this is the irony. Do you know what the irony is?
Well, just answer my question first.
Yes, I do.
Because new footage has emerged.
And death to every single IDF soldier out there as an agent.
You can message in the chat, or you can message me via Instagram. I have an Instagram, which is just my name.
I've known you a long time. I have a lot of respect for you. You just have to admit, when you hear that, you were wrong to defend him in the way you defended him. He didn't mean IDF.
I actually don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care. I would still defend this guy to the hilt. Like, I do not care. Shout out to him. Who fucking cares? Israel is a genocidal settler colony.
He didn't mean IDF the entity, did it? But do you accept now that you were wrong? He didn't mean that.
I didn't hear. I've only heard for the first time.
You've heard that. So what? Now you've heard that. Do you still say he only meant the entity?
Well, no. Obviously now he's made clear what he meant.
So you accept you were wrong?
Well, yeah, because I
know. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you should have known.
Fine.
I'm just saying that I found that.
Did he touch him there? No, you can't see his hand.
I'm just saying that I found the.
I thought he was reassuring him. Do you have a Patreon? No, I've been thinking about setting a Patreon up though, so I can do YouTube better, basically.
Defense very disingenuous by everybody, and I felt what he'd done. And this has now been proven, I think. He'd gone on social media. He'd seen people coming up with this ludicrous defense that he only meant the entity. And then, and knowing what he'd said on stage, he issues a statement saying the complete opposite that he's read from...
Also, okay, who cares? He had, someone just put it here. You know, there's potentially hundreds of thousands of dead people. But the thing is that, 377,000... But the other thing is what reaction do you expect people to have to watching Israeli soldiers go in and, parade around in women's underwear, to, mass kill people, to do heinous things to people? What's your expectation? What's good or what's the correct and right action, you know?
People like you defending it. Now, he's made all of you look like complete prunes.
He hasn't made us look like prunes. I don't give a fuck. You showed me a different clip. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. No, my TikTok profile picture's taken in Samarkand, which is in Uzbekistan. But the funny thing about all of this is Piers is just not talking about the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, how they've mass killed people here. But yeah, right, let's go watch another of the final thing about the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation.
Last month at RAF Bryce Norton.
So this is the AP's reporting on this, Associated Press.
Testimonies and
he didn't say on social media, the entity. What did Bob Villan actually say? Let's have a look. Today, a good many people would have you believe a punk band was the #1 threat to world peace. We are not for the death of Jews or any other race or group. We are for the dismantling of a violent military machine whose own soldiers were told to use unnecessary lethal force against innocent civilians waiting for aid. A machine that has destroyed much of Gaza. Okay, he didn't say that. Who fucking cares? Honestly. Who genuinely cares? I don't care about Israel. I don't care about their soldiers. They are doing genocide. Piers posted that he was... This is why you should never... And I tell people every time, do not give Piers Morgan any flowers anytime he gives, a good review of some Israeli extremist, because it just serves the same purpose of saying, hey, ex-Israeli extremist is, really bad and extreme. Whilst then he's saying he's appalled by the death of 5 Israeli soldiers who were doing genocide in Gaza. You know?
videos obtained by the Associated Press show American contractors guarding aid distribution sites inside Gaza are using live ammunition and stun grenades as hungry Palestinians scramble for food. 2 U.S. contractors who spoke to us on the condition of anonymity because they were revealing their employer's internal operations said they were coming out because they were disturbed.
Does this sound like a normal aid distribution site where employees are scared to come out and say, hey, something is heinously wrong with the way we're distributing aid? This is meant to be a humanitarian thing. You would think that that would be a basic principle of it.
By what they saw as dangerous and irresponsible practices. Both have extensive military experience. They say the security staff on site were often unqualified, unvetted, and had an open license to do whatever they wished. Their testimonies, combined with videos, text messages, and internal reports seen by the AP, provide a rare glimpse into the workings of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the new American organization backed by Israel to provide food to the Gaza Strip's population.
By the way, they should know this. It was created by Israel. It was created by Israel. This should be an important thing to know. This is and any time the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation speaks, it should be like they do with the Hamas-run Ministry of Health. They should say that the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is a creation of Israel.
Journalists have been unable to access the sites, which are located in Israeli military-controlled zones. Since the GHF sites began operating about a month ago, Palestinians say Israeli troops fired nearly every day toward crowds on roads heading to the distribution
I'll link the video after this.
points through Israeli military zones. Several hundred people have been killed.
Not even the Israeli run, John Brown. It should be the Israeli created.
Killed and hundreds more wounded, according to Gaza's health ministry and witnesses. The military has...
No. I did loads of research on this. Hold on. I should probably pull it up. Right, okay. Skepticism and preemptively prepared talks. Even at the highest echelons of the IOF, senior officers have questioned the plan. People familiar with the internal deliberations say, although IDF broadly concur that the alleged diversions of aid, blah, 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 blah. There you go. Shared their plans with a group of private secretary consultants led by Phil Riley, a retired CIA paramilitary officer and a former agency station chief in Afghanistan. This was created by the Israeli military, and there's a specific guy involved in the creation of it called something Weiner or Wiener, who does it. Thank you, Tom, for becoming a member. Shout out, Tom.
It's repeatedly said it's fired only warning shots, denies deliberately firing toward civilians, and says it's looking into reports of civilian harm. AP's reporting reveals what's actually happening on the sites themselves. The two contractors say their colleagues regularly used bullets, stun grenades, and pepper spray on the sites. Videos that one contractor took...
There's also something worth noting. There was an article about this a while ago, and they were talking about how none of them are trained of how to do it.
During the first 2 weeks of distributions appear to back up the frenetic scenes they described.
I'm probably older than some here, but Piers makes me want to puke. There was a teen who was kidnapped and murdered in the early 2000s, and before her body was even found, Piers hacked her phone. I mean, yeah, the phone hacking stuff is fucking heinous as well.
In some videos he filmed, men in gray uniforms, which he identified as his colleagues, can be seen dispensing tear gas and throwing stun grenades that land amid the crowd. The sound of...
Like, this is fucking evil. Like, look how packed in these people are.
Gunfire.
Look how packed these people in are, and you're throwing stun grenades, making them all panic. It's sick, it's evil.
Can be heard. They can later be seen trying to clear Palestinians squeezed into a narrow, fenced-in passage leading to one of the centers. One photo shared by the contractor shows a woman lying in a donkey cart after he says she was hit in the head with part of a stun grenade. Another photo shows a Palestinian crying after the contractor says he was tear-gassed in the face. To confirm the footage is from the sites, the AP geolocated the videos using aerial imagery. The AP also had the videos analyzed by two audio forensic experts who say they could identify live ammunition, including machine gun fire, coming from the sites, in most cases within 50 to 60 meters of the camera's microphone. In another video, what appear to be heavily armed American...
This is the most fucked bit of the video.
Security contractors at one of the sites discussed...
Oh, no, this isn't a concentration camp. This is a Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. This is for humanitarian, which Ethan Klein shared about. I want to be clear, Ethan Klein used this as an opportunity to dunk on Hassan. Ethan Klein used this as an opportunity to dunk on Hassan. He shared one of their statements, an Israeli-created organization that is used to abuse Palestinians seeking aid.
How to disperse Palestinians nearby.
Okay, got IDF tank posted on the northwest corner now. I brought him in and talked to him. They're doing a show force. I told him to hold there. I don't want this to be...
They're doing a show of force.
At that moment, bursts of gunfire erupt close by, at least 15 shots.
Just think about it. There are some people who allegedly went because, you know, they thought they were doing good. Okay, maybe there's a tiny amount of people who go and do this. But one of the things about this all is that I think that most of them are just ideologically committed fanatics.
The camera's view is obscured by a large dirt mound. The contractor who took the video told AP that he saw other contractors shooting in the direction of Palestinians who had just collected their food and were departing. He had a clear line of sight to both shooters. He says they shot toward the exit to the site, where he could see Palestinians leaving the center some 80 meters away. He says the men shot from atop a tower.
Like, this is just what, it's just insane. It's just insane.
Above the site and from atop the mound. The shooting began because contractors wanted to disperse the crowd, he says.
But, like, you create this situation by having a tiny amount of aid sites where you bring in a tiny amount of people over. You bring in a tiny amount of people. You bring a massive amount of people to a tiny area, give them a tiny amount of time, and then you fire at them because there's fucking chaos. It is so sadistically evil. It is like genuinely, it's not even just murdering, it is how ridiculously evil the entire plan is. Like, even when they're not murdering people, like bringing over tiny amounts of people and you hear these people chatting, "Hell yeah, boy," as they kill someone.
But it was unclear why they continued to shoot.
But it's also, as I said to that fucking Mark Purim idiot and Destiny as well, it's very easy to explain why they're doing this. It is to transform even the basic thing of getting aid into a horrifying situation. And that's what it's all about.
As people were walking away. The camera does not show who was shooting or what was being shot at. But the contractor who filmed the video says he watched another contractor.
It's also run by an evangelical pastor who I'm trying to find his name, but I can't remember.
Fire at the Palestinians and then saw a man about 55 meters away in the same direction that the bullets were fired drop to the ground. The AP cannot independently verify this account. Both contractors say they were armed with pistols, automatic rifles, and some had machine guns. Audio analysis of another video, taken at night, indicated that machine gun fire came from within 115 meters of the camera. The Israeli military says it's not deployed at these aid sites. In response to our reporting, SRS, the company that handles the operations logistics, acknowledged that it's dealing with large, hungry populations, but said the environment is secure, controlled, and ensures people can get the aid they need safely. SRS says to date there have been no serious injuries on the sites. It says that security professionals had fired live rounds into the ground away from civilians.
It's just like, even if it were true, look at the spaces that they are in. That's so evil. You know people have been murdered there. You are firing in the ground and literally terrorizing them.
A few times in the early days of the operation as crowd control measures. The GHF says its team is composed of experienced professionals and warned that there were people with a vested interest in seeing GHF fail.
Humanity are the people who are interested in seeing it fail.
UG Solutions, the security company that hired the contractors, said it has an extensive recruiting and training process, including a detailed application process.
Who did this before? I don't know any other military who's done this kind of thing before. The British politicised aid at one point.
Screening by experts, reference checks, background checks, and weapons proficiency. But the contractors who spoke to the AP painted an entirely different reality. One warned the current GHF system could result in more Palestinian lives being lost in Gaza.
I mean, I don't even think it needs to be warned. I think it's already fucking happening. I think more and more people will just be killed. But, I mean, this is the guy who's the boss. Very evil-looking guy. So he's irreverent. Is a deeply divisive and controversial figure whose influence stretches from the evangelical heartlands to the volatile front line of Israel's ongoing occupation of Palestine. An American pastor and political strategist. Sorry, closely... But also, by the way, for the people who say, like, oh, yeah, this isn't about expelling people, like, why would they do these things? It's being done by someone close with Trump, and Trump has openly stated he wants to remove the Palestinians. Imagine being... I know, being in that situation would be horrifying. It would be absolutely horrifying. And they have the nerves to say the Freedom Flotilla was an insult to Palestinians. Exactly. Piers Morgan has given more commentary about how Greta Thunberg was pathetic than how evil this thing actually is. And it's just insane. Like, it's just insane. Why did you post 8647? Why did you post that? Evangelical tried to pursue my grandma to go visit Israel on a tour. Crazy. It doesn't surprise me. Moore's appointment has reignited outrage due to his past endorsement of Israel's plan to forcibly expel Palestinians from Gaza, as well as his links to organizations promoting Jewish migration to Israel on the basis of biblical prophecy. This is just an anti-Semitic person. Palestinian advocates and humanitarian groups condemn Moore's leadership as another step in the weaponization of aid, undermining genuine humanitarian efforts and bolstering Israeli settler colonial project. The only positive thing I can say about Piers is that I found George Galloway's not a great guy. Oh, okay. He also, he began in 2016 when he joined the former president's Evangelical Advisory Board. He was a regular participant in White House prayer meetings and praised Trump's staunch backing of religious freedom and conservative Christian values, often aligned with pro-Israel. He promotes Jewish Aliyah, as the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. The group's mission explicitly supports returning Jewish people to their homeland and resettlement efforts, making it a major... So this is just someone who believes that he should expel Palestinians. I'll link this article. And if you're interested in the previous video, it's done by the AP, Associated Press. Exactly. But yeah, a rapper said death to the IDF, the people carrying this out. Oh gosh. You know, what can we really say? Right. Is that everything I wanted to cover? I just remember George Galloway as a cat. Yeah, people kept talking about that. I recall this kind of, this cat discourse that people were talking about. I guess we could watch Owen Jones talk about Bob Villan and see what he's got to say for himself.
What the IDF is doing in Gaza, we'd have a lot of agreement on.
I admire your intestinal fortitude for it. I really do.
It doesn't take that. I like to have everybody on, and I like to have vigorous debate. And look, some stuff I'm sure you and I would agree about, and some stuff we wouldn't. I've got to leave it there, Lee. Thank you very much. I'm being joined now by the commentator Owen Jones. Somebody else who I suspect on this issue of what the IDF is doing in Gaza, we'd have a lot of agreement on. But you and I locked horns a little bit on X a couple of days ago about what happened in Glastonbury. I just felt, Owen, that when people try to pretend what they mean is, oh, we just mean the entity. We don't actually mean IDF soldiers. It's disingenuous. When a crowd chants death to the IDF, what they mean is they think IDF soldiers should be killed.
People talk about the death of institutions all the time. Keir Starmer, when he said the NHS must reform or die, did he mean, and maybe you should probably give a bit of warning to doctors, nurses and patients around the world, does he literally mean they're going to be killed?
Of course not.
Just to be clear,
you're comparing...
You think that the NHS, so when people say the NHS will die, literally they say the NHS will die without reform, are they saying that they're going to be the mass murder of doctors and patients?
So to be clear, when you watch that rapper at Glastonbury chanting and leading a chant with thousands joining in of death to the IDF, you instinctively believe...
He said it himself.
No, he said it since.
Well, no. Well, yes. You're right. Look, unlike you and I, we're both very verbose commentators.
Correct.
Let's be honest. We write at length, sometimes in video tweets, but I like to write at length what I think. And I think the IDF should be dismantled.
That's fine.
But he said himself it means the dismantling of a violent
military machine. He said it since the Furore blew
But he
up.
also said he's opposed to the death of Jews, Arabs, or any other race or group of people. And Pierce, I don't want to be rude, but that puts him in a...
Hello, Fouge. Hello, everyone. Yeah. I realised it's too fast.
A rather different category than a lot of your pro-Israel.
Hang on, when did he post? When did he post that?
Well, the next day.
Of course.
What do you mean, of course?
It wasn't the next day. It was actually it was the day after.
So you're saying that a rapper should have done a long verbose statement on stage? He's a rapper.
His initial response, as you know...
Let's just be honest.
Oh, and hang on. Let me respond. His initial response the next day was not to apologise for anything, to cite his daughter and school meals.
He shouldn't apologise.
Right, that's fine. He doesn't have to.
No.
Right? Free speech means he doesn't have to. But he was dropped by his talent agency. He had his visa revoked, so he can't go on the tour he was planning in the United States. And then we saw this clarification, which bore a striking resemblance to what people who tried to justify it had been saying on social media, which is, I didn't mean soldiers.
Who cares? Like, honestly, I don't even know if I want to watch this. This is quite long. Maybe I'll... Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll watch the rest of that tomorrow. We can do that tomorrow because I don't want to watch that today. Maybe I will... Oh, no, wait. No. I want to talk about the Channel 4 documentary. So, last night, basically, there was a... This is quite a big scandal, actually. So, last night... The documentary is available on YouTube and stuff. I just want to see. So it was released by Basement Films. It's really good. So it basically details the stories of multiple doctors in Gaza and how they've been targeted over and over again. It tells Adnan al-Bursh's story, multiple people who suffered, basically, and were killed. Who were killed, who were tortured, and all of these things. The stories are being heard. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it on stream because I feel like they don't want you to watch it on stream. I have a strong feeling that they don't. It is very good, but yeah, I don't want to listen to Piers is my main thing. I think I could watch it, but yeah, but like yeah, I just want to see if they've posted any clips, but it's probably copyrighted is the only issue. But people have posted it. People like Suppressed News have posted it, so I don't know. Obviously, posting it on Twitter is a different game. But it's very good. Loads of people have actually posted it on Twitter. They've just posted the whole fucking thing on Twitter. But this documentary...
Urgency work.
Okay, here we go. Here's the opening. This is also so fucking crazy. This is like such a heinous war crime, and it's genuinely just like a footnote in what Israel has done recently. Like, it is genuinely just a footnote of in the amount of crimes that Israel has perpetrated. It's very good. If you can watch it, if you can find a way to watch it, it's available on Twitter. It probably won't be permanently, but I would highly, I would highly recommend that you. I'd highly recommend that you would watch this. It's really good. It's just like it's just, I don't know, it was very harrowing. It kind of detailed the torture. So many people, like, I don't know, like, just people's stories and people's lives and the effect it has on their families and such as these things. And it's just like, Jesus, you know, Jesus. I would highly recommend it. But what the controversy is the BBC didn't show it. And one of the funniest parts is that the documentary like makes clear Adnan al-Bursh posted an endorsement of Hamas. Well, I don't know if you can watch it if you're not in the new UK. Adnan al-Bursh posted, I think Hamas is, you know, like, I support Hamas, I support October the 7th. He said these things, right? And basically, they report this, but they say even under international law, it doesn't matter who you align with politically. Medics and doctors are protected. Yet, of course, Israel and its, like, fucking sycophants have posted, oh no, it's okay to say these things to justify their death. And it's just, yeah. It's, yeah. And it's just crazy that the BBC didn't show it. But when you watch it, it's very obvious why the BBC didn't show it. The BBC refused to broadcast it because it's very frank about the Gaza genocide. It doesn't beat around the bush. It talks about the systemic destruction of healthcare. It doesn't portray it as like just random acts by Israel. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there because I've been streaming for quite a while now, since 4 PM really, including TikTok. I hope you have a nice rest of the evening. I'll be live here at 4 p.m. tomorrow, so thank you all for coming. Have a lovely rest of the evening. 5 p.m.